Welcome to Mondello Park for round 7 of the Quaife British Rallycross Championship. Conditions absolutely perfect here this weekend. Of course, all eyes are on Christopher Evans. Can he seal the deal and win his first ever British Rallycross Championship?
Christopher Evans stole the show in Pembrey and in Anglesey. He sealed the deal then again in Blyton. He also won the last round at Lytton Hill, but does he have what it takes to reign supreme here at Mondello Park? Chris, what a season it's been so far now. Do you think you can do it today in Mondello?
I hope so, Vaughan. Yeah. But there again, we have to think of the championship. We don't actually need a win today, but it would be nice to help in the Irish Championship. But I say, you have to think of the British Championship is more important to me than anything else. So we'll have a go anyway.
Matt, Mark, it's great to see you here in Mondello. You've had a lot of work done to your car since the last time we were talking to you.
Yeah, we've had one of those years where it's been a development year. Next year, hopefully, we'll get it right. Since the last meeting, because we missed Lytton, we went to Knockhill and a lot of problems, missed Lytton. We've done a lot into the car. We put a new clutch in, put a new flywheel in. We've been testing, we've remapped the car, and today's proven in the first heat the start was much better. It's the best we've had so far this year.
Packed programme for you here at Mondello Park this weekend, so we go straight to the action with Steve Mundy on pole position for this one. That man Mark Watson in the centre gets a very good start in the Zara, leads into the first corner, then from Steve Mundy, Pat Duran in the Fiesta. There we go, on board with Pat, running third. He takes a wide line down to the hole of the hedge, tries to make it around the outside. Steve Mundy having that inside line covered. Andrew Morris then in the Subaru there at the back of that group as Mark Watson comes through the dirt then up to Dunlop, being hotly pursued by Steve Mundy. Then Pat Duran in the Fiesta, not having the best of seasons so far this year. Duran runs out wide onto the gravel. Can he keep it lit and back onto the tarmac? Pat Duran comes back onto the tarmac, but Andrew Morris has got a run on him up under the Vodafone bridge through the right-hander then. Duran running out wide in the Fiesta. Morris comes through in the Subaru, nips through on the inside. Mark Watson there with bits flying off the Zara up in front. Really has that car well sorted out for this weekend. Very slippery conditions there through the rough, back out to Dunlop. Mark Watson then in the first exploratory year in the Citroen Zara comes home to take the win in that heat. But a good gap built up to Steve Mundy in second. Study of Ollie O'Donovan there in the Peugeot 306 on the outside, then George Tracy in the RS 200 in the centre. Bob Gooding is the man on pole position as they wait for the lights to go out. And as they do, a good start by Bob Gooding there, but Ollie O'Donovan in the Peugeot making Goody's getaway, being followed through by George Tracy now in the RS 200, muscling his way through there as they go on to Rallycross 1. Down to the hole in the hedge, Ollie O'Donovan with a good gap opened up now over the Ford. We go on board with O'Donovan. Conditions here at Mondello Park this weekend absolutely perfect for Rallycross. Just a little bit of dust being kicked up as they come through the dirt, but George Tracy gets through there on the inside. Well, almost. Ollie O'Donovan just moved across, defending his line. Tracy has another look at the inside line now as they come down the straight, and it looks like he's got ahead of his ex-Peugeot 306, that of course previously owned by George Tracy. He's now campaigning this RS 200, beautifully turned out Ford. On board with Ollie O'Donovan then on the run down to the hole on the hedge. A nice wide run there, but goes straight on, misses his braking point. Obviously failed to get an opportunity to get around the outside of George Tracy just then, but corrects himself now, comes back and tucks in behind Bob Gooding. Meanwhile, George Tracy comes home to take the checker flag. He wins that heat.
Pat, it's great to see you in Mondello. Usually it's a place that you really enjoy coming to because you usually do quite well, but not everything's going well today, is it?
No, I'm still enjoying myself. It's just nothing's going well. So I think I've been hit on the first heat, taken out. Second heat, I made a mistake and went off while leading. And the third heat, the front drive shaft snapped. So, but the day all starts from the final, so let's hope I can do it from the back of the B final.
Well, we go straight then to the grid for that B final, and on pole position for this one is Mark Watson, or Mad Mark as he's known. Steve Bundy in the centre, Ollie O'Donovan on the outside. Pat around there, you can see right at the back of the grid. Making a demon start though, he tries to make his way through the field, but it is Mad Mark that leads into the first corner. Durand then having a look there at the back of Steve Hill's car. Might have been a little touch between himself and Steve Hill there. Mark Watson then leads from Ollie O'Donovan. Then Steve Bundy. Oh, and Pat Durand there goes out really wide down at the hole in the hedge. Doesn't stall the car. I just think he's managed to keep it moving. Ollie O'Donovan then gives us a look up the road as Mark Watson there just clips the tire and spins out on the right hand side. Ollie O'Donovan comes through then ahead of Steve Bundy, then with Steve Hill running in third. We go on board with Steve Hill. Ollie O'Donovan then, Mundy, Steve Hill, then the gap back to one of the Morrises, that is Michael Morris. Steve Hill really is showing everything at this in the Mitsubishi. We go on board with Steve Hill as we look at the back end of Steve Bundy's car. Hill tries to make it around the outside, again finding no grip out there. Michael Morris goes through. Ollie O'Donovan then still leading from Steve Bundy. Then Steve Hill still trying as only Steve Hill knows how to do. Very little visibility then as the dust kicked up in front of Steve Hill. Down through the gears, onto the right-hander up at Dunlop as he comes down the straight. They're on their last lap. It looks like Ollie O'Donovan taking the win in the B final.
Ollie, earlier on you weren't looking too good. You were kind of saying, sure, forget about it all. But now, I mean, look at you, winning again.
Just shows how quick the fortune can change. We were very unlucky this morning. I broke a T-on rack on the fourth race, and it just cost me so much time all day. We didn't qualify other than for the B final, but I think our luck has just come back again there now.
Well, from the supercars we go straight to the modifieds. These, of course, very powerful cars, two-wheel drive. Dave Bellerby is on pole, Michael Coyne in the centre, and his brother Brendan Coyne on the outside of that row too. Away they go then with Michael Bowick there, the Audi TT in the background, but it is Dave Bellerby who makes good his getaway. Michael Bowick there, the Audi TT, doing a great job. Vincent Deary there in the background, just a little bit of grass tracking. Michael Coyne goes through, then Michael Bowick, then Brendan Coyne, then Kieran Kern. Next up is Mike Seller, he goes through. Then and that's Vincent Deary. Vincent Deary there having a spin. Well, a spin in the wrong direction. He went right over on his roof, and that has brought out the red flags. So cars being gridded again. Vincent Deary seems to be okay according to reports, and it's Dave Bellerby again getting the drop on everybody in this beautiful Lotus. As he gets away, Michael Coyne in second, Michael Bowick in third, slotting in there ahead of Brendan Coyne in the Fiesta, who's fourth. Kieran Kern now deposed to fifth. A little bit of blue smoke from the back end of Kern's car, not a problem though, as Dave Bellerby in this beautiful Lotus Exige goes on his merry way. Oh, and he's spun! I don't believe it. Well, there's the curse of the commentator on Dave Bellerby, but he's managed to get himself righted, and now he heads off in pursuit of Michael Coyne. Coyne, of course, on the last lap now as he exits Dunlop, and this really is an extraordinary result. The first time that Dave Bellerby has been beaten this year. Michael Coyne takes the win. Dave Bellerby comes home in second with Michael Bowick in third. Well, the result then of the Super Modified A final. Michael Coyne the winner, Dave Bellerby second, Michael Bowick in third.
Michael Coyne, congratulations, you've done it, winner of the Super Modified.
Oh, fantastic. It was such a race. Dave had it in the bag and he just made a simple mistake at the end, and I was just there to pick up the pieces.
Well, the beautiful autumn weather has brought out a huge crowd here at Mondello Park. Siobhan has been to meet with some of them.
So Dave, you're only a recent recruit into the Rallycross world.
Yeah, but I'm really enjoying it today. I love all the real close battles that's in Rallycross, so that's why I come.
It's fantastic. And see some of the cars and the good-looking women as well.
So Jenny, how are you enjoying the Rallycross?
It's fun. My dad's racing.
And what's his name?
Eric.
And what kind of car does he have?
and a blue and some designs on it, and it says Eric.
It doesn't. And what's your favourite part about the Rallycross?
And because they go really fast.
And your daddy goes the fastest?
Mhm.
Rallycross is clearly on the up. The atmosphere here in the crowd is fantastic. So stay with us for part 2. We will have more action from Mondello Park. For On the Limit Sports, it's always been my dream to actually get into a supercar and actually have a go in one. And Dermot Carnegie has very kindly let me get into a 650 horsepower car. To say I'm nervous is an understatement.
Dermot has promised me he's going to take it easy, but somehow I don't believe him. 3 times champion of the British Rallycross. Okay.
Well, if Siobhan thought that was exciting, and certainly by the look on her face, she seems to have, wait till she get a couple of the trademark Dermot Carnegie donuts.
Dermot, oh my God, that was unbelievable. Could you hear me screaming?
Not really, no. I was concentrating on what I was doing.
Thanks a million. I'll never be the same again.
Thank you. It was nice having you.
The cars are lined up for the Super A final. Christopher Evans is in pole position. Can he seal the deal? I'd say yes. Over to you, Matt.
Thank you, Siobhan, and certainly Chris Evans has given himself every chance. He's annexed pole position for this one. Kevin Proctor in the centre, young Andrew Jordan here in the Ford Focus on the outside of the front row, makes a good start, gets himself up into second. But now coming under pressure there from Kevin Proctor, and Proctor runs out wide as we go on board with Ollie O'Donovan. And you can see Kevin Proctor there. Oh, well, the red flags have come out. So Kevin Proctor obviously had his car in a dangerous position. And we've lost him now from the front row of the grid. And Christopher Evans has got to go and do it all over again. And this time Andrew Jordan leads on him as they go down to the first corner. Evans then from Jordan, kicking up the dirt as they go down to the hole in the hedge, and Christopher Evans has opened up a good gap between himself and young Andrew Jordan, Dermot Carnegie, Helmut Hollfeld, Ollie O'Donovan and George Tracy there as we go on board with George Tracy, tucked in behind Ollie O'Donovan. Snake of cars then as they come through the little backward chicane back onto the dirt and up to Dunlop Corner, being led by Christopher Evans. Helmut Hollfeld there, a new returnee to Rallycross this weekend after about a year's absence, but still driving to very good effect there. George Tracy has a look at the inside line as he goes down the main straight, picks himself up the spot as he turns onto the rough here at Rallycross 1 at Stena Line, down then to the hole in the hedge. And Helmut Hollfeld really is on a move. He's having a look there at the back end of Carnegie's car, trying to prise a way through, but Dermot Carnegie very, very experienced. Through the dirt then, back out onto the straight, coming down. Christopher Evans comes home to take the win in the A final, being followed by Andrew Jordan, with Dermot Carnegie home in third. And the The result then of the Supercar A final, Christopher Evans the winner, Andrew Jordan second, and Dermot Carnegie third. Well, from the power of the supercars, we go to the Bill Gwynn Rally School Minis, the 1 litre Minis for the under 17-year-olds. And on pole position for this one is Kyle Orr with Ben Renison in the centre and young Matt Nesbitt on the outside of that front row as they head off into the first corner. Ben Renison there in the little orange car showing to the front, getting ahead of Kyle Orr, and Matt Nesbitt there doing a fine job as he gets alongside Kyle Orr on the run down to the hole in the hedge. Renison there defending the inside line. Kyle Orr switches to the inside and nips through. This is for the championship win for Kyle Orr as he gets through then ahead of Ben Renison. Matt Nesbitt just coming through here. And he's getting out a little bit wide there onto the back again. He's spun. Matt Nesbitt has just rolled. And then, there's a right shamuzzle down there as lots of cars stave into the side of that little Mini. You get a view on it here from the front on camera, and that certainly looked very, very nasty indeed for the youngster from Armagh. And that, of course, following in the footsteps of his brother Graham, who raced in this series last year, and that is the son of the former Irish tarmac champion Andrew Nesbitt. Cars there, as you can see, coming to a halt. That halts proceedings while the rescue services get Matt from the car, but apparently all is well. And we have a restart with Kyle Orr now taking the lead ahead of Ben Renison. And Renison comes back at him on the inside, just not near enough to make his way through just then. Down to the little chicane then with Kyle Orr ahead of Ben Renison, and these two have been battling away all year, and that is Sam Schofield there, almost an identical spot to Matt Nesbitt. Sam Schofield then coming to a halt back then. And it looks like Ben Renison has a problem. That is Ben Power through into second. But on the last lap, it is Kyle Orr that comes home to take the win. Confirmation of the result of the Bill Gwynn Rally School Junior Rallycross final. Kyle Orr the winner, Ben Power second, and Ben Renison third.
Congratulations, Kyle, you've won the Junior Rallycross.
Yeah, feeling's amazing. It's just been a brilliant day. Quickest time, didn't have to do the last heat or nothing, and just amazing.
We're on the grid for the super final. Christopher Evans is in pole position, and all he needs to do is qualify in the top 8 and finish the race, and then he's effectively won the British Rallycross Championships. Can he do it? Over to you, Matt.
Well, what a season Christopher Evans has had, and yes, it certainly would be very hard to bet against him for this one. Dermot Carnegie traditionally looking very comfortable, and he is a very experienced racer there on the outside of that front row. But Andrew Jordan getting the drop on Christopher Evans into the first corner, but Evans just keeps the shoe in, holds that inside line. Andrew settle for the outside. Bit of paint swapping there between George Tracy and Ollie O'Donovan further back. Helmut Hohlfeld going through then has got ahead of Andrew Jordan. Here they come then through the rough. Christopher Evans, Helmut Hohlfeld, Andrew Jordan, then George Tracy, then Ollie O'Donovan. Just look at the gap that Christopher Evans is building up. Hohlfeld coming through then in second. Young Andrew Jordan in the Ford Focus is in third. George Tracy in the RS 200 running in fourth as they turn onto the dirt. Hohlfeld there, just a new returnee this weekend to Irish Rallycross, on board here with George Tracy as he look at that inside line, getting ahead of young Andrew Jordan, but certainly getting alongside Andrew Jordan there. Great drag out of the corner by the RS 200. And Andrew Jordan now with his mirrors full of George Tracy behind him. Tracy there making a mistake, running out wide, and that has allowed Ollie O'Donovan nip through and get himself up to fourth. Dermot Carnegie now deposed to fifth, and George Tracy comes back and retakes that spot off Ollie O'Donovan. Well, it's all kicking off then at the head of the field. Christopher Evans, Helmut Hohlfeld, Andrew Jordan, then George Tracy, then Ollie O'Donovan, then Dermot Carnegie running there in fifth. Christopher Evans now coming under a bit of pressure from Helmut Hohlfeld in turn from Andrew Jordan, and Christopher Evans there runs out wide, and that has allowed Helmut Hohlfeld and Andrew Jordan through. Evans looks like he's got a problem because George Tracy now crawling all over the back end of the Astra. Down they come then, down the straight. Helmut Holfeld now taking over the lead ahead of Andrew Jordan and Christopher Evans slowing right down there. That has allowed George Tracy come through to take third. Well, what a drive here from Helmut Holfeld, the previous British Rallycross champion, of course, in that Peugeot 306 that's being campaigned currently by Ollie O'Donovan, but back this weekend in a Ford Escort and now leading the supercar final as he comes out of Dunlop, being followed by young Andrew Jordan, then George Tracy, then Ollie O'Donovan, then Dermot Carnegie. Then limping home there is Christopher Evans. Now he just needs to finish out this final to win the championship. So whatever problem he's having with that Astra, he's able to nurse it along. Could well be a puncture. Tire there flying. Holfeld showing the spoils of battle. Rear bumper of his Escort hanging off, and Andrew Jordan there with a problem. He's pulled up. That has allowed George Tracy through into second. Ollie O'Donovan is now third. Dermot Carnegie is fourth. Andrew Jordan still moving, but has slowed right down. So all sorts of action. We go on board with Dermot Carnegie as we watch up the road. Ollie O'Donovan, who's now running in third. Carnegie tries to chase him down. Helmut Holfeld then really settling down on the lead of this one. George Tracy though is closed up behind him. Tracy really using this newly acquired RS200 to very good effect. Tires flying there from Ollie O'Donovan. Dermot Carnegie keeping well in touch in the Ford Focus behind him, and we see there the stricken car of Michael Coyne. But back at the head of the field, Helmut Holfeld comes home to take the win. George Tracy was second, and Ollie O'Donovan there coming home in third. Well, Helmut Holfeld clearly delighted with that. Oh, and he does his little Michael Flatley impression as he gets the applause of the crowd. Meanwhile, Christopher Evans just nurses the Astra home, and that's enough to give him the win of the British Rallycross Championship for 2006. And with one round still to go, that certainly is a very, very fine achievement for the young County Wicklow driver, as Christopher Evans now accepts the applause of the crowd. Well, the result of the super final, Helmut Holfeld the winner, George Tracy second, and Ollie O'Donovan third.
Helmut, congratulations. It must be some feeling winning the super final in your first outing in what, 12 months?
12 months, you're absolutely right. And you pronounced that name beautifully, by the way. Yeah, it was, I was a little bit gloomy on the A final. I was in third place at the first start, and then the second time round I didn't have such a good start and I dropped down to fourth. But to come out of that super final on top is extremely exciting because there was a lot of action there.
That super final, it wasn't your usual style. I mean, you finished 8th, wasn't it?
Finished, yeah, but we got a puncture on the second lap on the rear, so the car was very, very undrivable. But winning that championship means a lot to me. The lads have worked hard all year, had the car in good shape every event, and I'm glad I'd done the job for them and win the championship as well.
Well, there you have it. There's another round over for the British Rallycross Championship. What amazing action we had here from Mondello today. Christopher Evans is, of course, crowned the champion of the British Rallycross, and you know what? He did it in his home territory. We'll be coming to you next time from Croft. Until then, bye for now.
Round 7 of the Quaife British Rallycross Championship in association with Shannon Holdings.